All right, are we on now? Are we live? I got the little red flag says I'm live. I feel alive. All right, Mark, coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. I started kind of a series. It says, you are live. We're building an audience for me. Okay, cool. I started a series that we've been keeping over on YouTube. All right, now it's saying, keep going. We're telling your followers to join your video. Oh, that's how this works. All right. I started a series, and we're posting them up on YouTube, on Baker's Green Acres YouTube channel. And so you might want to go over there and check out 1 through 4. And I guess this will be 5. And I'm in kind of a talkative mood today because I've been alone all day, so I thought I'll make a live video. This is the 3rd week for these guys. This is a group of 150 chicks. Here's our brooder for like new people. There's going to be new people on this broadcast. Here's our brooder. It sits out in the field. This has no floor in it, so the chicks are right on the grass. And you might think that I'm going to kill the grass right here, but this thing sits on skids, and I can pull it forward with the tractor to the next position. And I will do that as soon as we get our next load of chicks. This thing is 10 by 12, 120 square feet, so it's designed to accommodate about 400 chicks. All right, there's a propane. Let me just show you the other side. This is kind of interesting. It would have been interesting to me when I started. I got a propane cylinder on this side, and it goes in, and then on the inside there's a propane heater, and then outside here is the run. All right, so there's a little trap door. When I lower that, it makes kind of a drawbridge, and then out here you can see there's a water right there, and they're not out today because it's pretty cold. They're only 3 weeks old. When we're in the heat of summer at 3 weeks, they're definitely outside. They're out in chicken tractors, and that's the idea, is you want to get them out really as soon as possible because they grow much better when they're out here. Now, as time goes by, from this position, you'll be able to see all the chicken tractors lined right up here. And I want to do this in a really picturesque way this year. Don't know why exactly. I just feel like I want to do it the best I can this year. And we want to do a flyover with my son's drone. I think that'd be kind of fun. It's got a little AR-15 mounted up on the front of it, so if there's any coyotes, we can take them out. No, not really. I just think it'd be nice to get a picture of this for posterity's sake. On the south side of this field that I'm on is a sow field. There's a bunch of sows over there right now. And then right behind me is our produce field, and I have feeders out there now. And the produce field, that's a whole nother story. We're breaking that up into thirds. That's a whole nother story. But today, it's the 11th of April, and I think we're pretty well out of the woods as far as freezing weather, so I'm turning the water on today. Up until now, my daughter Rachel has had to come out and grab a bucket and fill up water and then take it in and then use those little waterers that you have to fill, and she has to clean them a couple times a day. Now we have a hose that's coming from just a regular hose that's coming from over there in the corner. There's an outlet, and then the very first piece of equipment that we need for the watering system is a regulator, and this knocks, let's see, it knocks it down to 25 pounds per square inch, and the system water pressure is like 50. So we're going to knock it in half. And then let me come in to where the chicks are. Of course, they want to get out as soon as I come in. And then I'll show you one of the waterers and how we set them up. All right, this system, we've got it designed so that the chicks will have water all the time. Let me show them to you real quick. This is actually a small group for this house. This is 150. And the reason why it's a small group is because they're still inside, because it's still cold outside. These guys are actually very early for the season, and the reason we have to do some early ones is because we have a pastured poultry class on the 20th and the 21st of May, and during that class we're actually processing birds. We'll process all of these birds in that class, hopefully. And so that's part of the whole discipline of pastured poultry, is knowing how to process the birds and get them ready for the table. Okay, so you wouldn't think it, but 150 birds like this will go through about 12 of these a day. A lot of water. And so Rachel has had to come out here, and she's got to, you got to clean them because the birds are really messy. So a better way is this right here. This is called a little giant fountain. And I'm not doing a commercial for them or anything. Maybe I should. Maybe those guys ought to call me and I can do regular ones. But I found these online. They actually have them at Family Farm in Fleet right now. They're $25. But they are extremely well made. It's a little bit corroded right now, but that's really nice brass. And the way it works is it's got a valve right there, very similar to, it's the same as a tire valve. And when this fills up with water, the weight of it closes the valve and water stops flowing in there. And then we modified it a little bit. I think it's designed to use a hose fitting, but running hoses everywhere for this thing is a little bit cumbersome. So what we use is clear some of this junk out of the way. Let me see if I can get this. Well, you can't get that one. This one's freed up over here. I actually have two of them in here. And it might seem a little weird that I'm in here, but there's something that I want to show you. See, I've made this little swing so that I can position the water or wherever I want it. And then it's got this tubing on it. We call it capillary tubing. It's used for drip irrigation. That's the business end of it. Okay, and this stuff fits right on that barb fitting right there. And then this eye hook hangs on a piece of wire that's through a drilled hole right there. And when that's on there, I have a complete system that will feed water to these chickens 24 hours a day in here. And it's just through these 1/4-inch lines. Really important that these guys have water all the time. And I think I can kind of explain why real quickly here, and hopefully you new producers don't have to go through some of the problems that we've had to go through. All right, with this. Now, when these guys run out of water, they all run out at the same time. And let's say there's 400 of them in here, and they're out of water for 2 minutes. They're not real bright. Then as soon as you put water down for them, then all 400 of them have to get a drink like right now. It's like having a whole elementary school and one drinking fountain, and every one of those kids wants to get to it first. And they have no manners, and you can't tell them to get in line. They're just going to mob that water until they get some water. And in the course of doing that, they all get wet. All right, so if it happens this time of night, I'll show you the thermometer up there. Maybe you can see that. It's reading 60, and you can actually see the water sitting on the top of this. It's kind of raining out. It's 38 outside, and I have no heat going in here at all. And we won't until we get a new load in here, unless it got really cold at night. But these guys are almost completely feathered. And they kind of look like they're not, but they outgrow their feathers because they do grow so fast. This is the heater right here. And it's not on. This heater has a thermostat on it, and you can set it for a certain temperature, and it'll maintain that. But back to water. If there's water in front of them all the time, then they stay calm. They just stay calm. They've got water. They can take a drink when they want. They're not going to all drink at the same time. They'll just periodically go over and take a drink. As soon as they run out, they start getting all kind of worried. Like, hey, where's the water? Where's the water? Here he is. They mob me. They're pecking all over my shoes and my pants and everything, waiting for the water. And unfortunately, we have run out because these things have run out. And now, if you place this, they will mob it, and they will get wet. Not such a big deal with these birds because they're pretty good size. But the smaller ones, if you have wet birds in the morning, you will have dead birds, even if it is warm in here. Especially when you're out on the field, it can get really bad. So these little giant waterers are the answer. We'll have constant water pressure in here. If for some reason we lose water pressure down here, I would lose water pressure at the house as well because we're on the same feed. Oh, there's my finger again, Gordon. So I thought what prompted me to make this video was something else that I think folks are likely to encounter if they embark on this pastured poultry journey, and that is coccidiosis. Coccidiosis. It's a protozoa, and I believe that it's in the soil. It might be in the feed too. I'm not really sure, but these birds don't seem to be able to handle it very well. The egg-laying birds are a lot tougher than these birds. These ones are white mountain vantresses. It's a commercial meat chicken, and they're designed to grow out in about 8 weeks, and they cannot handle coccidia. So when these birds are grown in a commercial factory farming scenario, they get a compound called amprolium given to them all the time, and it keeps that coccidia in check. Well, the discipline that we use, we don't want to use any drugs like that. So when we get coccidia, we've got to have to kind of grin and bear it, and you can lose a lot of efficiency on your feed converting chicken feed into meat or chicken meat, and that's not good. And also, the birds can get so depleted that they'll actually die, and then it's really not good. So I know you've heard me talk about biochar, but I'm going to show you a little bit, and this stuff is stuff that was made right here at the farm. And this has been pulverized in a hammer mill. My son Joe did this. We still have some of it around. And then we mixed it with a really high grade of compost. And I found out about it quite accidentally, that it was the cure for coccidiosis. And now we use it as a prevention measure. And you might be saying, how are you going to feed biochar to a bunch of chickens? So I give them a little bit every day, or Rachel does, and I just thought it'd be fun for you to watch this happen. I got a handful of it, and I'm going to just give it to them right like this. Just put it right on top of their... and I'll watch them eat it. It's almost like they like it more than the chicken feed. Here's the top for the biochar thing. I'll just put it right there. I'll put a handful of it in there. There's nothing in there but biochar and compost, and they eat it. The story that I've told before is when we first started experimenting with biochar, I had some chickens going in the ClearSpan building, and I threw some to them just for fun. And they not only ran around with it and tried to play keep away with it, they ate it. And I thought that was kind of different, and so I threw them some more and threw them some more, and kids threw some to them. It was kind of funny. They were so ravenous of it, and there was 2 pens, and when we went to move them a couple of weeks later, one pen was noticeably bigger than the other, and then it went from there, and I actually contacted some veterinarians. I actually went through the university, and come to find out there's a very good explanation why biochar would cure coccidiosis. Unfortunately, the people that make Amprolium or Corid, they're not too happy with the idea of feeding chickens biochar. Obviously, that's, so I learned a lesson there. But we've used it religiously ever since. I mean, I use it to feed my field as well. And I think this summer when we have the full line of chicken tractors out there, and you see that they're getting a steady diet of biochar with their feed ration, they're going to run it through their little systems, their little intestinal systems. They're going to inoculate that biochar, and they're going to put it right on the ground. And, I will come right behind them with the mower and mow that grass down and mulch that all up, and that whole mass will sit there with all that nice bacteria, and the grass will get really, really nice and lush behind the chicken tractors. And then hopefully we can show in the fall time when everything else turns brown that the grass that we've run the chicken tractors over and fed the ground with their manure, biochar, the grass is still bright green, and it maintains right to spring. So these guys are 3 weeks old. Normally, they would be going out, and another crew would be coming in. It's just a little bit cold right now. I'm looking at the weather, and we're not supposed to have anything below freezing, below 28, after next Monday. So we will be putting them out at 4 weeks instead of 3. And even in the summertime, when it's really, really warm out, we'll put them out at 2 weeks. And they seem to do just fine. When we do put them out, I will go through some of the things that can happen there, and we'll actually take you along, because all we do is crate them up here, and then we walk them right over to the chicken tractors and then place them in the chicken tractors. And that's kind of fun because they are outside and they find all kinds of fun things to do. You can sit, it's just fun to sit out there and watch them. They really enjoy it. But let's see. I think that's all I really have to share from in here. Here's the inside of the brooder. You can see there's windows, and they're down on a day like today, but if it was a really warm day in the summer, they'd be up. We are building another brooder. Supposed to have Gordon here today helping with it, but it rained. And that brooder is we're gonna change it some, in that we want to take more advantage of the solar take-up. It can actually get quite warm in here with just that little opening up there. That's polypropylene, and it's really nice. Same stuff we use on the greenhouse. So yeah, okay. I guess that's it from Baker's Green Acres. I would also like to remind you to go to bakersgreenacres.com and support the farm if you'd like to go there and do a little shopping expedition. We still have a lot of pastured poultry from last season. It's frozen fresh after it's processed right here at the farm. We have all different cuts, and I'm hoping that we completely run out just in time for these ones to be ready. plan on doing quite a few this year. I mean, things are changing here at Baker's Green Acres because of the website. We're casting a much broader net over the United States, and we have a system now where we can have UPS man come and pick this stuff up and get it sent to you. We're working that price down. We're working the bugs out of the system. We plan to be here for many, many years. I still got a bunch of kids that I got to get through the farm. And so we would appreciate it if you would start to buy your meat from us, do business with us. If you want to support small farms, please buy from small farms because we're in this to make a living. So this is Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Remember, anyone can farm. Do it yourself or do business with somebody that does. Thank you.